And let no one mislead you by telling you that they're seeing the stars, signs of the end of the world. No end of the world. This world is going on indefinitely. Not a thing is coming to any end. You blow it up, man will rebuild it. If we have a nuclear war, you aren't going to destroy this world. It is a cradle to hatch out God. This is a world of educated darkness. And you aren't going to take a schoolroom and improve it to make it a home. This remains a schoolroom, a world of educated darkness. So when we spend billions to make it easier for people, and billions to make people good, forget it. It's going to be an equal balance of good and evil in this world forever. So right in this world, good and evil, and you can't unbalance it. So you make all these good, but then others must come into the world equally evil to balance it. For we ate of the tree of knowledge of good and evil. And that's why we're here. And we had to eat it in order to be here. That we judge in our blindness and do all these things in the world. If the world was all good, and everybody was so altogether sweet, we wouldn't be here. And may I tell you, there'll be no contrast, none whatsoever, and you know from possibly an experience that is not a very pleasant thing. Have you ever been into a society, a group of people who thought themselves so good and so holy? Isn't that boring? Well, I have been among them. I can't conceive of anything more boring than those who think themselves so good and so holy and so sweet. And you wonder, what is it all about? No, give the others that sometimes you have to watch out of the side of your eyes. They're more exciting, far more fun in the world. You keep your mind high and dwell on noble things and keep the noble things going, but don't try to rub out the others. It's all part of a school system. We aren't here to make this heaven. Heaven is for the redeemed, and everyone will be redeemed, and everyone is going to come out. And when we come out, we aren't strangers. You take off the mask, and I take off the mask, and I know you. I knew you in eternity, and you knew me in eternity, and we were in love with each other as no one on earth could ever love another, because we were love itself. We were God, and God is all love. So no one on earth could ever love anyone through these masks, comparable to the love we have for each other when the...
Welcome to How to Manifest Anything YouTube channel. If you enjoyed this video, like, share, and subscribe.
Mask comes off. We are the gods that make up the Lord, and the Lord is the embodiment of infinite love. Now, are there any questions, please?
If we have played a good number of these parts, as you suggest, why cannot we recall them back to mind?
I have recalled many, so I would not say that we can't.
The fact that one cannot recall them, does that signify that he hasn't played them?
I wouldn't say that. No, I would not say that at all. I live a very modest life today. Quiet, modest, small income from my efforts in what I'm doing. For I'm self-employed, and I take off voluntarily between 3 and 4 months a year, because I find that I need that sort of rest. And I need it for the very ones who come regularly to my meetings. And yet in my interval of taking off between 3 and 4 months a year, I have no income. Someone gets a month's vacation or 2 months vacation, the corporation pays him. So he's paid. I'm not paid. I'm completely on my own. I take off any time, and I am simply self-supporting in my work. All right, I live a very quiet and modest life, and yet I have a vision of an experience. I had the most fabulous home. I can see it now. Beautifully furnished. Everything in it was a museum piece, and yet functional. It was not there just for appearance's sake. It was functional. A full complement of servants. I can see my gardens. I can see all the gardeners that I had. I can see my secretary and his assistant. I can see the chefs. They all loved me dearly. I was a bachelor. I can see it vividly. And I return in my imagination See, all these things are always taking place. So I returned in my imagination to this, and all of them greeted me so beautifully. And they all said, the Lord is back. Not meaning God, for they called me by the title called Lord. Just as you speak of people here in the world, Lord so-and-so. Well, to them I was their master, their Lord. Not in the sense of being God, just simply a man with a title called Lord. And they all greeted me beautifully in this return, but I can see the fabulous wealth that I possessed. And it was decadent. I didn't grow with all my wealth. I simply could indulge myself, and no matter what I wanted, I could grant it, because I had it. And then I recall deliberately walking out of that place and not returning. I walked out completely and left it all behind me. And yet I had everything that money could buy, and I bought only the best. My home was beautifully furnished. Everything in it was a museum piece. And my servants were beautifully trained. They were not just servants, they were of the highest. My secretary, everyone, my butler, they were gentlemen in their own sphere. Yet they were my servants. And I had a full complement of servants in my home and a full in my gardens. And I walked out never to return. So I have a vivid memory in this world of Caesar of having fabulous wealth. Then I came back in this time. I came here in a world of poverty. A father who bore and raised 10 children. There were 12, but 2 died at birth. And so we were a family always of 13 because my grandmother lived with us. And he had little. And so I came into that environment. I needed that environment. And that was the last environment in which I played the part before departing this world to return to my brothers. And I'll return like the prodigal son to find that I am enhanced beyond my wildest dream by reason of the venture. Not all the sons came up, by the way. The first son didn't come, meaning he represents those who did not volunteer. Therefore, he remains unaware of his wealth. The second one volunteered and took a chance of remaining permanently in a world of death. But if he didn't, and he survived and could get back, he would be enhanced beyond the wildest dream of any. And those who did not come out do not share that power. He is then used on a higher level of creativity. So I have a vivid, I can see it so clearly in my mind's eye. And yet today, in this world, I live a very normal, modest life. Fortunately for me, my wife goes along with it. She makes no excessive demands on my purse. In fact, I don't have any, I give it to her. So if I have anything, she knows it, but I don't. So she has everything, so I can't really run away. When I leave home, I said, now, may I have $2? Can't go very far. Get no taxi. You can't go more than a few blocks on $2. So I really can't run. Let me have $2 in the event that I want to get back home. So she gives me $2. Are there any questions, please? Yes, sir.
To understand, can we play many roles in one lifetime depending on the extent of our own handmaking? Or are we destined for one role only?
No. The question is, can we play many roles in the one span of life here? Why, certainly we play many roles. The same identity, like the same actor playing Hamlet that plays Richard, that plays something else, but the same actor. Well, I was a dancer for 11 years. Prior to that, I worked for J.C. Penney for the large amount of $20 a week. And then they fired me. I said, what have I done? Nothing. Business is slow. So, business is slow. I said, what am I going to do for money next week when rent is...
Welcome to How to Manifest Anything YouTube channel. If you enjoy this video, like, share, and subscribe.
So that's not my problem. So, when I continued the argument, he said, well, now, I can see he doesn't understand the facts of life, so when you're 20, you're full of courage and do all kinds of things. I was then 17. So he gave me a letter to his friend up at Macy's and said he doesn't understand America's rules, so give him a job, let me have one. So I was getting, I think, 22 at J.C. Penney, and they employed me, and they gave me 20. At least I had a job then, 20. And I figured I will not work for anyone again. I'm going to stick this out just as long as I can, and I'm going to quit. This time I am going to quit. They aren't going to fire me. I'll never be fired again. So I worked there for a year and 6 months, and then I gave them notice. I said, why? I said, I'm just going to quit. There's no reason, no excuse, I'm quitting. And then from then on, I worked for myself. So I would come in under the heading of these ex-cons. They refused to work for another. They had it all within themselves, and they wanted freedom and independence. All the qualities that they say big business leaders need and have. So you play all parts. I was a dancer. I run an elevator for Macy's, a bus boy putting things in the bin and I saw all the little tricks of the trade. I saw how they operated, because as a bus boy, you see things. And some lady came in one day and she wanted lily white honey, and that was 10 cents more than the Red Star honey. And so, unfortunately, I didn't have lily white honey on display. I should have kept the bin filled, but I didn't have it. So the salesman who took the order came back and said, the lady outside, and she can't have any honey but lily white honey. And you didn't do your job by keeping the bin filled. And so get one up quickly. Well, the lily white honey and the Red Star honey was the same honey, bought unmarked by the carloads. And the girls rolled in the lily white and charged 10 cents more, and rolled in the Red Star and charged 10 cents less. So it took off one Red Star and rolled into the lily white, and she was satisfied. So she paid 10 cents more for it. And that's how business operates. There are some ladies who cannot buy a decent coffee because they do not have in themselves the innate knowledge of taste. Their taste buds are gone. So if they go into a store, they must read the price tag. Someone once told a story. If you went into Selfridge in England and you took all the tags and changed them and took a piece of cut glass and put on it the price of a great diamond, and then put that price of the cut glass on the diamond, the average person not understanding jewelry, having no knowledge at all, would buy it based upon the tag. They'll buy a piece of cut glass and pay the price of the great diamond, because they do not know values. They can only see tags. And business operates upon that business. They'll buy a bag of coffee and cut it in half, and this one is 15 cents a pound more than this one, because someone wants to pay more. You go into a resort and you get a hotel, and there are certain people who will not go to a hotel unless they feel themselves above the hoi polloi, who cannot afford $100 a day. They can afford $100 a day, so they go to these places. And in the little island of Barbados, we supply them all. So they get no better meat than the place that charges $10 a day. So when you go to their dinner, it's a nice dinner, no question about it, but you're paying $100, and we are the suppliers of all the hotels. We get no more from one or the other, but we know some people operate that way. They can't stand mingling with those who think themselves, they must be below, and they're quite willing to pay for it. And people, knowing that weakness in the human heart, they cater to it. I saw them in Barbados come down from L.A., and they come down with all their black glasses on and their incognito. And no one in Barbados knew them anyway. Didn't have to come incognito. But they saw to it, before the day was out, that you knew who they really were. They couldn't stand being not known. Oh, they came down with all their big black glasses and all these things, hiding under these things. But don't tell me you don't know who I am. I'll take it all off and then spell my name out for you. You must know me. And then, of course, it comes out in the paper. Who do you think is here? And the average person reading the paper never heard of her anyway.
Welcome to How to Manifest Anything YouTube channel. If you enjoyed this video, like, share, and subscribe.